The world is a cage, but the door is open. You have only forgotten how to walk through it. I have seen them, these men of waiting. I have sat in their parlors and walked their manicured lanes. They are not at rest, though they call it by that name. They are in a state of exquisite decay. Their chairs are plush and their larders full, and in this abundance they have constructed their own tombs with living hands. Waiting is not patience. Patience is the steel of the soul, a conscious endurance for a worthy end. But waiting? Waiting is the surrender of the will to the seductive whisper of later. It is the belief that the world owes you a moment more suited to your courage, a day more fitting for your genius, a circumstance more accommodating to your virtue. I tell you, the world owes you nothing but the ground upon which you stand. The rest must be claimed. You wait for the sign, you wait for the feeling, you wait for the planets to align and for every fear to be comforted. You are waiting for a permission that will never come, for it was never anyone's to give but your own. This waiting is an acid that eats the sinews of the soul. It does not leave a man as it found him. It hollows him. It takes the fire of his ambition and banks it so low that not even a memory of warmth remains. The man who waits for inspiration will find his muse has long since fled to a more ardent heart. The man who waits for certainty will find his grave before he finds his answer. Look at the oak outside this window. It does not wait for a gentler season to drive its roots into the cold, hard earth. It does not wait for a guarantee of rain before it sends its tender shoots toward the unforgiving sun. It acts, it pushes, it strives with a blind, beautiful faith in its own nature. It is what it is meant to be, and in that being, it finds its strength. What are you meant to be? And why do you imagine that becoming it should be a comfortable, convenient affair? Greatness is not a destination one arrives at on a well-sprung carriage. It is a path one forges with bleeding hands. The call is now. The time is this fractured, imperfect moment. The sign you seek is the beating of your own heart, a drum sounding the advance against the enemy of your own lethargy. Do not speak to me of your preparations. I have seen the libraries of men who prepared themselves into oblivion, their minds fat with unapplied knowledge, their spirits weak from inaction. They are like smiths who spend a lifetime stoking the furnace, polishing the anvil, and admiring the hammer, but never once striking a piece of iron. What is knowledge without deed? It is a feast uneaten, a song unsung, a weapon that rusts in its scabbard. The rot begins not in the limbs, but in the will. It is a spiritual decay that precedes the physical. It is the acceptance of the minor compromise, the small surrender. You tell yourself you will begin tomorrow, but tomorrow is a liar and a thief. It is a country that does not exist. There is only today, this hour, this breath. The world is not moved by those who wait for the tide to change, but by those who plunge into the treacherous waters and swim. They are the ones who taste the salt and fight the current. They are the ones who, in the act of striving, become more than they were. The water itself forges them into something new, something capable of reaching the distant shore. Throw open the door of your cage. The lock has been broken from the inside all along. Do not wait for your fear to subside. Act in spite of it. Do not wait for your doubts to vanish. Move through them. Let your first step, however small, however clumsy, be your declaration of war on the waiting. For in that step, you cease to be a prisoner of some day and become a citizen of now. And in that now, all things are possible. You are not tired, you are anesthetized. You have been drugged by the very things you thought would set you free. There is a sickness abroad in the land, a plague more insidious than any fever. It does not rack the body with chills or waste the flesh. It is a sickness of the spirit, a lethargy of the soul, and its primary symptom is a profound, unquestioning comfort. Men and women move through their days in a pleasant haze, their edges softened, their passions diluted, their wills encased in cotton wool. They believe themselves to be living, but they are merely dreaming a waking dream. This is the great deception of our age. The belief that comfort is synonymous with happiness, that ease is the equivalent of peace. We have built for ourselves a world of cushions, of padded rooms and muffled sounds, and we have called it progress. We have smoothed every rough edge, heated every room, filled every silence with trivial noise, and in doing so, we have starved the spirit of the very friction it needs to spark into flame. A man who never feels the cold cannot appreciate the warmth. A man who never knows hunger cannot truly taste his bread. A man who is never opposed cannot know the strength of his own conviction. You have been wrapped in a cocoon of your own making, and you mistake the confines of the silk for the boundaries of the world. You have been sedated by convenience. Your struggles are minor, your complaints are petty, and your victories are meaningless. You battle traffic and slow Wi-Fi and call it a trial. You have forgotten what real struggle feels like, and in that forgetting, you have become weak. Look to the ancients. Look to the men who carved civilizations from wilderness and ideas from the void. Their lives were hardship incarnate. The cold was a mortal enemy. Hunger was a constant companion. Danger lurked in every shadow, and yet, from this crucible of suffering, they produced art, philosophy, law, and courage that still humbles us millennia later. Their spirits, tempered in the forge of adversity, became as steel. Your spirit, swaddled in comfort, has become like softened wax, taking the impression of every passing triviality. This sickness of ease is not an passive condition. It is an active force. It is a weight that you willingly strap to your own limbs. You seek it out. You pay for it. You sacrifice your vitality, your time, your ambition on its altar. You trade the sharp, clean pain of effort for the dull, throbbing ache of regret. You choose the numbness of the drug over the piercing clarity of the cure. The cure is hardship. The cure is voluntary discomfort. It is the cold plunge that shocks the system awake. It is the hunger that sharpens the senses. It is the long walk that tires the body to quiet the mind. It is the hard task that stretches your capacity to its breaking point. You must reintroduce friction into your life. You must seek out the resistance that will make you strong again. Turn down the thermostat, miss a meal, walk in the rain, take the harder path. Read the book that challenges you. Embrace the awkward silence. Do the thing you are afraid to do. Feel the burn in your muscles and the strain in your mind. This is not masochism. This is medicine. It is the antidote to the poison of comfort. It is the spark that will reignite the dampened fire of your soul. You were not made for cushions and whispered praise. You were made for storms and mountains. You were made for struggle and triumph. Cast off the blankets of ease. Step into the sharp, bracing air of a life that demands something of you. Feel the sickness leave your bones as you remember what it is to be truly, fiercely, undeniably alive. The most dangerous prison is not made of stone and iron, but of seconds and minutes. Time is the currency of your existence, the one irreducible substance of your life. Each day you are given a measure of it, a finite and non-renewable treasure, and I watch you, I watch all of you, as you take this gold and cast it into the sea. You murder your days with a carelessness that would be blasphemous if it were not so tragic. You kill them with distraction, with frivolity, with a lack of conscious intent, and you stand over the corpse of each setting sun and call it a day lived. But you did not live it. You spent it. You wasted it. You squandered it. You allowed it to slip through your fingers like smoke. You have committed a slow, quiet suicide of the spirit, 1 hour at a time, and you have mistaken the numbness of the poison for contentment. What is a day? It is a canvas of 24 hours, given to you blank. Upon it, you may paint a masterpiece of effort, of love, of creation, of courage. Or you may leave it smeared with the gray, formless stains of procrastination and petty amusement. Most men die with a gallery of empty canvases, their potential untested, their colors still trapped in the tube. They meant to paint tomorrow, but tomorrow never came. This murder is not a crime of passion, it is a crime of neglect. It is the sin of omission. It is the decision, made 1,000 times a day, to choose what is easy over what is meaningful. It is the hour lost to mindless chatter, the afternoon sacrificed to idle entertainment, the evening frittered away on anxieties over things you cannot change. You are like a farmer who, given a bag of the most precious seed, scatters it onto the road for the birds to eat, and then wonders why his fields are barren. You believe you have time. This is the grand delusion, the lie that enables the slaughter. You look at the stretch of years before you and see an endless highway, so you feel no urgency to begin the journey today. You cannot see the precipice that lies just beyond the next bend. You do not feel the sand draining from the glass. Your mortality is an abstract concept, a story told about other men. But I assure you, your name is written in that book as well. The bell will toll for you. The question is not if, but what it will find when it does. Will it find a man who used his days or a man who murdered them? The antidote to this homicide is reverence. You must treat each morning as a sacred gift. You must awaken with a fierce gratitude for the hours you have been granted and a terrifying awareness of their value. You must ask yourself, before the world has a chance to impose its demands upon you, what will I make of this day? How will I use this irreplaceable currency to build, to learn, to love, to become? You must become the guardian of your own time, ruthless in its protection. For time is the stuff of life itself. To waste it is to waste your very being. To kill it is to kill a part of yourself. Cease the slaughter. Let today be the day you put down the knife. Let today be the day you pick up the brush and begin at last to paint. Before you can conquer a world, you must first conquer the universe between your own 2 ears. Every man, every woman is a fortress under siege. The battlements are your skin, the citadel is your mind, and the war is perpetual, ruthless, and silent. It is waged not with cannon and shot, but with thought and impulse. The outcome of this war determines every victory and every defeat you will ever know in the external world. To lose on the outside is a triviality. To lose on the inside is damnation. You know the enemies. They are not foreign invaders. They are homegrown traitors, fifth columnists born of your own nature. Their names are fear, doubt, laziness, envy, and pride. They whisper from the shadows of your own skull. They poison the wells of your resolve. They smuggle complacency through the postern gates of your weariness. They are clever, they are persistent, and they know you better than you know yourself. For they are you, the weaker, baser, more fearful parts of your own spirit given a voice. This is the inner war. It is the only war that truly matters. All other conflicts are merely its echoes. The man who cannot command his own thoughts will never command men. The woman who cannot discipline her own impulses will never shape a destiny. You may acquire wealth, power, fame, but if you have lost the inner war, these are just gaudy ornaments on a corpse. The chaos within will eventually shatter the order without. The battlefield is the unseen garrison of your mind, and the first duty of a commander is to know his ground. You must become a vigilant sentry over your own thoughts. You must learn to recognize the voice of the traitor before it has time to spread its sedition. That urge to delay, that is the enemy. That spike of envy at another's success, that is the enemy. That wave of fear at a new challenge, that is the enemy. They are not you. They are forces acting upon you. Your spirit, your essential self, is the commander who must choose whether to surrender to them or to fight. The weapons of this war are not forged of steel, but of will. Discipline is your sword. It is the daily, hourly practice of choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. Focus is your shield. It is the ability to lock your attention upon a single, worthy objective and deflect the endless barrage of distractions. Courage is your armor. It is the virtue that allows you to feel the full force of fear and advance anyway. The strategy is simple, yet it demands everything. You must choose your thoughts as deliberately as a general chooses his ground. You must evict the tenets of worry and replace them with the tenets of purpose. You must silence the cacophony of doubt and listen for the still, small voice of your own resolve. You must starve the impulses of laziness and feed the appetites of ambition. No one will sound the trumpet for this fight. No one will see you win your private victories at dawn. But win them you must. For the peace of your future, the strength of your legacy, and the very integrity of your soul depend upon the outcome of this silent, ceaseless, and utterly decisive war within the unseen Garrison. You stand at a crossroads every moment of your life. One path leads to a warm swamp, the other to a cold mountain. You know which one you usually choose. The seduction of the swamp and the sovereignty of the summit. There are two forces that pull at a man's heart, two destinies that vie for his soul. One is the swamp of comfort, the other is the summit of greatness. The swamp is low, warm, and soft. Its air is thick and languid. It asks nothing of you. It promises ease, a numbness to ambition, a forgetfulness of purpose. To lie in its waters is to feel a heavy, seductive warmth that slowly pulls you under. The summit is high, cold, and hard. Its air is thin and sharp. It demands everything. It offers struggle, clarity, and a view that stretches to the edge of eternity. Most souls are tugged inexorably into the swamp. They follow the path of least resistance, the gravitational pull of indulgence. They sink a little each day until the muck is at their chin and they can no longer remember the feel of solid ground beneath their feet. They call their stagnation peace. They call their surrender contentment. They are not evil, they are seduced. They have been whispered to sleep by the lapping of the warm, stagnant water. But you who feel the restlessness, you who hear the faint, echoing call from the heights, you are presented with the choice. The swamp will always be there. It is the default state of an untended spirit. The summit must be chosen again and again with every step, with every breath. It is a path of maximum resistance. It is a fight against the gravity of your own weaknesses. The swamp tells you that you are tired. The summit tells you that you are weak and that strength is built. The swamp tells you that you have earned your rest. The summit asks you what you have done to earn anything at all. The swamp shows you the bliss of ignorance. The summit shows you the terrifying, glorious panorama of your own potential and the vast distance you must cover to reach it. Do not misunderstand me. The summit is not about fame or external validation. It is an internal landscape. It is the state of becoming the most capable, the most disciplined, the most courageous version of yourself. It is about sovereignty over your own nature. The man on the summit may be a king or a beggar. His station in life is irrelevant. What matters is that he has conquered the swamp within himself. He has chosen the biting wind over the stifling warmth, the sure footing of rock over the sinking feeling of muck. The journey out of the swamp is the first and greatest battle. Every fiber of your being, accustomed to the lethargy, will scream in protest. The air will feel too thin, the incline too steep. You will look back at the warm, familiar bog and be tempted to return. This is the critical moment. This is where men are made and unmade. You must fix your eyes on the summit. You must embrace the cold, for it will wake you up. You must welcome the strain, for it will make you strong. You must learn to walk on the hard rock of discipline, for it is the only ground that will truly hold you. Leave the swamp to the sleeping. Choose the mountain. Choose the climb. Choose the sovereignty of the summit. And the view that awaits there will make a mockery of every comfort you left behind.